Now, people might vex when we attack these things, but is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Listen to me now. Them say Jesus come from Nazareth. Not Jesus, Mary, sorry. Them say Mary and Joseph was in Nazareth. And we talk about Christmas, I know, because we're in the Christmas season and we are trying to show you and put something to perspective. Them say the king or the governor decides that he want to count the people them, get a census of the people them. But according to them, they have to move from Nazareth and go to a place named Bethlehem. Listen to what I say now. Listen to what I say. And you can go back or check what I say. Understand? You can listen to what I say now, but you have to go back or check what I say. Alright. So, according to them, they were supposed to go to Bethlehem for register. Now, there's no record of that happening. That this man here didn't want to register the people them, and they have to move them. They have to move the whole of the city to go over to the next city, which was like nearly 100 miles away. Now, people, you know, so between Kingston and Montego Bay, between Kingston and Montego Bay is about, what we call 80 miles. They don't reach 100 miles. They don't reach 100 miles between Kingston and Montego Bay. And we are talking about the good road where we have. Good road. I want to say good road too. Maybe they will have asphalt to say good road. But we have good road, asphalt, and it is 80 miles from Kingston to Mobile. Now, you really believe, say, in them days that there was no paved road. Them never have no car. Where them a ride pan is donkey. Where we now go ride pan donkey between come up from Stony Hill go down a town, which is not even 30 miles. And we have good road. The people them in them days they used to ride pan donkey or horse. Poor people have donkey. Now, let me ask you a question. You don't really believe, say, a young girl between the age of 12 and 15, let's put it at 15, pregnant at 9 months, her husband put her on a donkey for ride, for go to a town where is nearly 100 miles away. Listen to what I say. Between Kingston and Montego Bay is about 80 miles, and we have nice road for drive pan. Them days, you know, have no road, up here pathway for drive, for ride. Would you put your 9-month-old pregnant woman on a bicycle or a motorbike for ride from Montego Bay go to a hospital? Why would you believe a story would tell you, say, a man named Joseph in his 20s, late 20s, take him wife in a 12-year-old to 15-year-old, 9 months pregnant, put her on a donkey and ride for about 4 to 5 days, traveling on them road where they didn't have them days there, traveling to nearly 100 miles to a place named Bethlehem for go register yourself and then go up on the way to have a youth. Think on it. Think on it. The ride from which part to go, from which part to take about 5 days. And she was 9 months pregnant. Would you take your wife, who was 9 months pregnant, on a donkey, on a bike, on a bicycle, even on a tricycle, and take her for go register in a nearly town where is nearly at the distance of Kingston to Montego Bay, and then put that, and people accept that as a reality statement, and that a star in the sky. You know, for the star, the nearest star to the earth is the sun. The nearest star to the earth is the sun. Them say the sun is 90 3 million miles away from the earth. And you are telling me, say, a star move and go over the barn, which part only for animal there where them say Jesus is born. And it stand up over the house, the barn where Jesus is born, that some man could have ride, come up on camel, and it lead them to this barn. The star come right over the cannon. You know which part of star there? You know which part of star there from earth? You know, sometimes you look on a star and believe to the star over there, so the more you go out where you think the star there, the more it look like it can move. The more you go to the horizon, is the more you see the horizon like it can move. And people take them story there as, oh, it there, it's in the Bible, so I saw it go. Yes, I saw it go, but guess what? It's fairy tale, not go so. The reality or lack of it in some of these stories that we hold fast to this time of the year. And one of the biggest one of them is Christmas, Christmas. Them put it in on the 25th of December. And them tell you, say, the shepherd them was tending them sheep in the pastures. And every time you look on our postcard, you see some youth attend sheep in the pasture. And we know, say, apart from you telling me, say, this man take him wife, put her upon a donkey 9 months 9 months pregnant for travel 100 miles. In a winter, it get even more outrageous when you understand what is going on. In a winter, we talk about cold time. You put your wife in at the time where them a claim said it happen. Because of them say winter it happen, you know. Yeah, them a tell you say winter. And them tell you say some man come from the east. What part of the east the man them come from? Oh, you know, say it's 3 wise men. Nothing like that not in the Bible. Where we get that from? About 3 wise men. Which part of the Bible? I'm here talking to my Christian friend them, you know. Which part of the Bible you read say 3 wise men go visit Jesus and him when him born? Which part of the Bible? Show me in the Bible. The reason why you come up with 3 is because you hear say the man them bring gold, frankincense, and myrrh. That is different kind of gifts. It don't mean say it's 3 man bring it. Because 5 man can carry gold. It's like when them say the woman named Makeda go visit Solomon. She carried camels of frankincense, camels of frankincense, camels of gold. When Mansa Musa, they left the west coast and go to Arabia to go visit Arabia, thousands of animals, cannibals was traveling with him. Thousands of men go with him. Them develop a story where have no logical, rational argument that we can say, yes, believe it, but we actually believe it. Because we never have no other story to verify that story. And most of the time when we are justified, when we read the Bible, we use the next part of the Bible to justify it. In other words, the same book has justified the book itself. And we don't believe in a Batman and Robin, neither Superman, neither Wakanda. So we are saying, the idea that some people are going to take up, I mean, sorry, that about the star, where them say gone over the house. When we picture the star in our head, and that's what you know, say, oh, you know, say your brainwash, is when somebody have you think about a story, and you start to visualize the story in your head, without realizing, say, nothing couldn't happen that way there. And you start to repeat the story like, say, you did experience the story, when you only experience the story in your head. And anything can happen in your head. You can carry yourself go anywhere in your head. So when them say now, this star over the place to lead the man them, and when you look on your postcard, where white people print and give you see 3 man on a camel come at the barn where them couldn't find no room in the hotel them. Them go all over and couldn't find no room in the hotel and them end up in a one barn. And the baby barn in the stable, in the barn where all the cow them and the goat them and all them things, they're there. So the man, I mean, after that couldn't happen, you know. But what lead up to that story? If the story start out wrong, well, why should we believe the other part of the story? If them bring this fable to you, about man travel upon donkey, nearly 100 miles, a 9-month-old, 9-month woman, I got a baby, and over hills and valleys and rocks and mountains for 4 or 5 days, she'll travel away there. And you actually accept that as a logical explanation of how the Son of Man, Jesus Christ, God in the flesh, come out, and you start to believe it, internalize it, and start to repeat it, like say, you have an experience of it. Because them tell you say, the only son where Jesus have is God, you know. The Muslim tell you say God not have no son. Even though them believe in a Jesus. Even though them believe in a Jesus. The Muslim them say, God not have no son. And God, and watch a man. It's a weird story because here I know. I'll show you how we get confused. If I can find it in the Bible, yeah, alright. Find it in the Bible. Them tell you say, when we come out, them say, common G-O-D is the gods. It's not insignificant. But when you see the capital G-O-D is the creator of heaven and earth that I deal with. Capital G-O-D. Them tell you say it's only one son God have, and that is Jesus Christ. Yet still, in that Genesis 6, this is for my Christian friend them, you know. This is for my Christian friend them. In that Genesis 6, it says, and it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God, the sons, common S-O-N-S, of God, capital G-O-D, that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men, in other words, the man them upon the earth, I don't know where the son of God come from, but the man them upon the earth did have daughters. And the sons of God saw that the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. So God picked them, start to mingle with men pick me. In other words, the gods them, the man them who belong to God, start to mix with the daughters who belong to men. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. He also is flesh. I wonder if you understand where I work, yes or no. I can read it again. That the sons of God saw that the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. People, it's not me write this thing. Not me write this thing. If you want to read it yourself, go read it. Them tell us there's one son God have. And we interpret it to mean that. And over the years, the ear pastors say it. Church people say it. There's only one son God have. When I tell them, say, my younger days, I'm say, I am the son of God. Man, I say, you blaspheme. Man, I say, you blaspheme because you say, you're the son of God. Because only one son God have. But the Bible didn't tell you that. The Bible said the sons, plural, sons of God, saw that the daughters of men were fair. And him say, for that he also is flesh. His spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. You know, so when me in a 12 tribe, I read that thing there like 100 times to figure it out. And I say, what it really has said, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fair. And he started to talk about he also is flesh. Who also is flesh? Who also is flesh? That is the question in the story. Who I talk about that he is also flesh? The spirit shall not always strive with man, but them days shall be 120 years. And in that day, giant and gone, he said, giant start to come upon the earth and all the way, and then God start to vex, say, make man. Because the wicked of man increased upon the earth. And every imagination and thoughts of his heart was also evil. That is man in my talk about, because for him picking them, that's like a Greek story, you know. Nobody can tell me that a Greek mythology that, you know. For him picking them, mix up with the picking them, where he make them man there, you know, on the earth. And them have picnic. And for him picking them, mix up with the man them on earth, picking them, and start to mingle up with one another. In other words, we shouldn't let them mingle up. Those who see themselves as sons of God shouldn't let them mingle up with people where God make. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's really, really crazy. But we're coming at this time now. And we regurgitate the story over and over till we start to accept it as our reality. Given that what is happening now and then is two different periods in human history, we have to realize when a man write him story, you can't take a 2,000 year story or a 4,000 year story and evaluate yourself. Fight and say, this is how you must live. Because how the man did live is totally different from how we are live. You know, see, and there's certain things, like when a man tell you, say, you know, if a man, thou shalt not commit adultery, and then the next man come and tell you, say, watch out, even if you think it in your heart, you have already committed adultery. Then how much man is not guilty of that? That means you don't, you know, because one of the 10 commandments say, thou shalt not commit adultery, and a man come interpret it for you, how much hundreds of years after, thousands of years after, him come interpret for you and say, when you say adultery, you know, it's one thing for you to say you do to sleep with a man wife, you know, or a man asleep, or a woman asleep with a man husband, you know, but if you even think about it, you're God. You understand? If you even think about it, which man or which woman can truly say them do ever think about it? The reality is that I have said non-apologetically, so a lot of this story never happened. That is what I really tell you. Because when you have a book like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and these four men, you know, say John was all a little youth. John, Jesus, according to them, you know, him go among some man when he was 12 years old, you know, and confounded with reasoning. And then you have John, who was another teenager youth. If you read Matthew, Mark, and Luke, you know, where John says a total different thing from what them are saying, you know. Yeah. You know, him start off him thing in the beginning, the word, and the word was, none of them not start out that way there, you know. As a matter of fact, Matthew start out with that genealogy. Through Joseph, you get the problem with it. Luke have a genealogy through Mary. But the two of them have a different person for Joseph's father. What me say? I never make a mistake with what I say. Matthew have a different name for Joseph's father than Luke. One of them said Joseph's father was Jacob, and the next one same father was Eli. Two different people. Which one are we to believe? Because these men are writing not from seeing these things happen in front of them, because really and truly, when them things are right, the man that is done gone already. And I say years, dozens of years after the death, what them call AD, after the death, that these things is written. And them write certain things in the story. Not because them know say it happen, but because our people that tell them in at the time. So when you hear about the birth, how come the birth of one of the greatest man who ever lived in Christianity, nobody can tell precisely when him did born. Everybody will give an interpretation. And we know say the 25th of December is not the birthday. We not ask nobody that. And them know say who write it, know say him never born that day there. But it imprinted in a way. And we think about it every year. And when we are celebrated, we celebrate it in a way that have nothing to do with no man who born the 25th of December, as you can plainly see with your eyes wide closed. None away can look outside of where we will start for an explanation of what is written. And when we see history come in front of it, because it's not in line with where we were taught or brainwashed into thinking, we reject it. That is why there's so much different association as it relates to just that part of the Bible. Other parts, but now we are talking about Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That is where the story there. That is where the story there. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and everything else follow that. We read of these stories, and these stories was placed into some real place. It's not like the place them don't exist, you know. But maybe other man named Jesus did exist, you know, but no Christ never in him. A story them put for a man. Maybe a man did there, Yahshua. Because all people name Yahshua in them time there. And you have a whole heap of Christ. Because Christ just means anointed. That's all it means. Anointed. David was Christ. But them said Jesus is the Christ. So people put Christ on Jesus and make it sound like his surname is Christ. But no go so. Christ is not meant to be a name of a person. Christ is not meant to be the name of a person. It never expect him to say Tony Christ or John Christ. That is like Mr. Mr. is not meant to be the name of a person. It is a title given to people. And we have to realize that. So, them configure a man and put him in history. That's what them do. Them configure them take them draw from this, that, and all the different thoughts around them and place it into an individual man. And this man now become the centerpiece of Western philosophy and religious belief system. And any man who come now have to fashion him religion around that idea, as we can say, all of what we know now as it relates to religion in the Western world is centered around that idea that there was a man living 2,000 years ago who was born of a woman who never have no sex to have him. And then quote the Old Testament, and when it's saying in the Old Testament version, it never mean a woman never have sex. It never mean that. The virgin birth never means there's a woman who don't have no sex. That's what it come to mean eventually. But even if do it look ridiculous, people still believe it because them say it's God. And God can do anything. God make man and then repent that he make man. Because man will become wicked. And him have all evil in him heart. What is he make them? And his son them go married to the daughters of these wicked men. That him have to come later down now and destroy and say, boy, I'm going to put one man in our boat. Will never happen. Did not happen. 500-foot boat cannot hold a pair of every animal, species of animal at that time. Plus them say not ongo. Them have some unclean ones to in there. Plus 8 people. That story never happened. That is where them configure it in a mythological mindset to bring about an understanding of them reality, not my reality. Not my reality. Not my ancestors' reality at this moment. Our reality has just started to be written in books, in papers, and in voice in it. Whenever you saw, most of the history never write down, it was transmitted orally through the village and through the town square. But guess what? A lot of the people them who hand it down did experience it. And then we now come tell the story. And then we have understanding of science and technology that we can do certain things of record it. That a man can say, it's Muta said that, you know, because hear him there, hear him voice there, him say that. When we hear about Mark, who is Mark? Who is Mark? All these men were supposed to be according to what we were learning at school, that we used to hear say them man was fisherman and Father Jesus. Yet see them could attack and know Greek. Where them learn Greek from? Them is supposed to be Jews, not having no education, but walking up and down with this man who was a follow me and I'll make a fisher of men. and them could have write Greek, authentic Greek, not like we know who learn English but talk patois, and when we are right, sometimes we can't spell. But we have to go to school to learn these things. And you tell me now, say some man I walk up and down and learn Greek, that them could have write Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And we believe these things. So we see it into the brainwashing as a people, as an African people. Like we don't have nothing for ourselves. We don't have nothing can turn to. Because all the things that we can turn to, say them evil. And them not good for we. I might just watch yourself by the blood of Jesus, and you don't see that as something weird. When a man say, boy, a man tell him, a spirit tell a man say, take him son and go kill him, sacrifice him. When people that was used to eat all people too. Yes, them used to do it. Because some of the things them do was despicable. But when them look on other nations, you hear say, these people is despicable. Me I watch some old time cowboy show and me I say, but look on these people who come say them a teach we civilization. When them man they have guns strapped on them side, everywhere them go and just fight with people and kill people just like that. Left them in the street. Just kill the Native American them just so. Native American land and them come take the Native American land and just kill the people in the name of Jesus. When the Knights Templar go to Jerusalem and kill off the Muslims, they must do it in the name of the Lord. And now we see them take over people's land and call it Israel and call themselves Israeli. Where is the history of these people? We understand now, in this time here, that we African people. And no matter what them say, no matter how foolish them want to say what we see now is foolishness and we don't believe in that foolishness and stupidness. Look at what them believe in now. Look at all them people that we are Kosa Rasta. Look what them believe in now. And say the foolishness that them have enough in their mind. I try to put it together and I contradict people about this and this and that. It now work. It's here.
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Blessed man.
Yeah, respect and thanks, Mr. Manners and respect.
I return.
Yes, I. Yeah, may I have a little clarification still. Hope you take it in a good faith, because you know you put in
a
a lot of work.
What do you mean? Man must take it in a good faith.
Yeah, man, because you put in a lot of work still. So we're not trying to disrespecting, you know, anyway. So I'll listen to a conversation already with the Virgin when they said Haile Selassie is not God. What do you really mean? Just a question.
Yeah, because I don't use the term God, you know, because God is something where them give way, and God can mean anything.
Okay.
You know, I don't use God to describe Haile Selassie.
Okay.
You know, in my consciousness, I think the idea of man and where man potential is higher than God. God is something where man configure in their mind and come up with. And the word God come from the idea of a deity. Right? Like when a man say God is really a deity, I work with, you know.
So you don't believe in a no deity at all?
No. Man, me I work with. Man. Nature, man is part of nature. Yeah. So the reason why I say Haile Selassie is because when Haile Selassie, this is where it brings me to. The history of Haile Selassie and who the man is it carry me to which part I the righteous or no in my thinking. But I don't believe them go come back, come save Earth, save the planet, and all these things. I know into that. I know into that.
Can I say anything?
Yeah, I mean, this is
about 20 years ago, you weren't saying these things.
No, I wasn't saying it. No, I never, you never hear me come back and say, I got do, you know.
What you say is the Almighty.
Yeah.
The Almighty and God in your language.
The Almighty to I, and the only God, I because use the word God now. The only God that exists to I is the one that creates I self.
When you say you create for yourself, what do you
mean? Say in my meditation, I can look at my wife and say she's God.
Okay.
And then work with she.
Okay.
I can look on the stone and say it's God, and I can work with it. And I can look and say Haile Selassie is God and work with him. But I don't use the word God. So if I say Almighty, It's almighty within the levels of how I see it. I not tell a man to go see it that way there, you know.
Oh, it's how you see it.
That's why I tell you, say, God, the only God that exists, I'm not going to use the word God for reason of this conversation. The only God that exists is the one where I create for myself.
That's how Mutabaruka.
Then we can't talk for next man.
It must the way how it is then.
No, but we can't talk
from your perspective.
Yeah, but we can't talk for next man. Not talk about for me. When me come up in a, look I tell you, when me come up in a Rasta, me come up in a Rasta and go 12 tribe. Right? And in a 12 tribe, me hear them say, greetings in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Was this day revealed himself in the personality of
did you believe that?
No, that's why a whole heap of we did have to leave, because how we did that say Haile Selassie? It carry to ital food, it carry to ital liberty, but one plant food, 12 tribe never into that. I mean, never see myself as a tribe.
So when I heard you making some clarification about Haile Selassie, where them call him a Baba Janai, when you say them call him, or when them sing Hosanna to him and all these things, what you say then? For example, I heard you say them what Hosanna mean.
You hear me say Hosanna?
Hosanna. No, the people them that they crown him in Ethiopia.
That them is Christian people. It's Christian people. It's Coptic Church that crown him. It's Christians that crown Haile Selassie, you know.
But I heard you use that
Hosanna?
term.
Hosanna?
Pertaining to Haile Selassie. So I was just
no. You hear me say Hosanna this way to Haile Selassie?
Yeah,
what you say about Hosanna? Like what you say about Hosanna?
It was some clarification he was making in a one of your program.
And say Hosanna?
Just understand.
No, that's not apologize for man. What you say? When you say Hosanna, because I don't remember using a word in my vocabulary at all.
Yeah, you are not really.
Hosanna, Hosanna, hallelujah, and all them things. I don't use it in my vocabulary.
Some program way back when in a mood.
Yeah, I know way back when. Watch out, I know when we usually, watch out, I know when we usually say way back when, you know. And me I say, in my tradition, by left in Kingston, left in 12 tribe, go up in a bush, go live and them thing there, my perspective open to another level. Right? So, me used to say, when I look at people, me mad at me about Jesus Christ, I say Jesus Christ, I come evolve out of that. You know, see, when we look on how the Bible, see it, I say people relate to the Bible and start to quote the Bible, I say, right, you don't know, say this could have been that and this could have that, I may evolve out of the Bible. I mean, not say that no more. But Hosanna, no, sir. I don't use them word, right, sir.
I was saying you were using it to clarify how some word that they.
But I say, I can't use God to you to clarify something.
To him.
Yeah, but when I say, I can't say God to you for clarify something to you. Could I say God? I have no instruction to say God. It's just that me not call Haile Selassie God.
Okay, so Haile Selassie doesn't mean higher than God to you. What is the meaning? Is it the name or the man, or is both of them?
It's the man. The man.
The name. What about the meaning of the name?
Him name Haile Selassie. No,
does the name carry any weight?
The weight. What the name mean? What Haile Selassie mean?
Power of the Holy Trinity.
That is, yeah, all right. The power of the Holy Trinity is where the name translates to in Amharic. I tell you, say, it don't make no difference if him call power of the Holy Trinity or not. It's Haile Selassie I call him.
So, I'm saying, without the man that they ban, they not fulfilling the prophecy, the name not carry any weight. So
the name carry a weight to me because I study the man history, I study him history, and I see a weight, and it's him I identify with. I identify with Haile Selassie. That is who I identify. That man, the man.
Alone, the name not have nothing to do with it.
No, it's Haile Selassie. His name Haile Selassie. I don't interpret
the name. Have a great meaning. It carry a value.
Yeah, but you have other people named Haile in Ethiopia and Selassie in Ethiopia. It's not
but is the name of what the man accomplished and everything?
No, it's born with the name Haile Selassie. It's born with the name. No, it's in parents.
When a man say Rastafari, is it the man name has become also a religion? It is way beyond just.
But I know religion. I know Rastafari is a religion. It's not a religion to me. It's not a religion to me.
Whether you say it's not a religion to you, it is in the Bible. It is in the dictionary.
You see Rastafari in the dictionary.
Rastafarian in the dictionary.
Wait, you see Rastafari in the dictionary.
Yeah, man, Rastafarian. I saw it in the dictionary.
All right, what Rastafarian mean?
In the dictionary.
What mean?
Rastafarian
is a religion.
As God.
Yeah, and I tell you, say, and listen to me now, I tell you, say, I know say Haile Selassie as God.
All right, no problem. But
and the man them who I grew up with in a Rasta, when I left Kingston and God, I never hear them say Haile Selassie as God.
But I'm saying to you,
Yeah.
when a man say Rastafari,
Yes.
who him talking about?
Haile Selassie and himself.
So is what does
Which who you hear said, me or somebody?
that he said when they crowned him, like they was trying to ask him who him is or what have you, and him said, "A tribe in the west shall exalt my name."
When him say that, where him say that? Where him say that?
I don't have that concrete.
Haile Selassie said said nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
He not said nothing like that.
So he doesn't say that. He never said a tribe in the west shall exalt
I
my
don't.
name.
Haile Selassie not said not about no tribe in no west.
Wow.
Haile Selassie say
So
the Jamaicans. Listen to me. When them say the thing I know Haile Selassie say is that him say the Jamaicans and the Ethiopians are blood brothers. That is what him say. We are blood brothers. The Jamaican and the Ethiopians are blood brothers. I know when I look at the Bible, I not see nothing about Haile Selassie in the Bible.
So the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords is not Haile Selassie.
That is a title given to all the king of the emperors in Ethiopia, and there's many kings in Ethiopia.
So
he is the king of all the kings.
When they talk about the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and isn't their mighty name shall be terrible amongst the heathen, it's not Haile Selassie.
So which Haile Selassie name terrible amongst the heathen? Which heathen Haile Selassie name terrible amongst?
I'm just asking you a question.
No, I don't know about what you asked me. I don't know what you asked me.
Which name is terrible amongst the heathen away from Haile Selassie?
George Bush, Putin.
The heathen.
Yeah. Me don't know what Eden. Who you call Eden? Who you call Eden? Who you call Eden? Tell me who you call Eden.
The offsprings of those that slave.
So then I don't slave. I ask my people them you come on and slave.
Of those that slave people.
You mean say white people say Haile Selassie name as terrible? We say that white people say Haile Selassie name as terrible.
So none of them ever exalt that name?
May I ask you?
Away from a few...
No, may I ask you a question? Answer me the question.
When you shout Haile Selassie...
You want me explain something? You want me explain something? You not explain nothing to me. When you tell me which group of white people say the name Haile Selassie as terrible?
That name?
Yeah, which group of white people say that as terrible? Which Eden?
No. Babylonian people would never call up on that name.
No, I never said them call, but I don't go Babylon. Jamaican black people don't call up on them name mostly.
Because they were trained. They were trained.
Yeah, them not the trained same way too.
Them accept the sweet Jesus Christ, but if you shout Haile Selassie, them scan it. It look terrible to them.
No, brethren. When you ever go see a show, you hear a man come and say, Jarrah, you have to say, Rastafari, I'll ball it.
I'm not talking about we black people who love reggae music and shit. I'm talking about those aristocratic people.
You ever go a reggae festival in Germany yet?
Those people.
No. May I ask you?
I've never been.
All right, let me tell you something.
When the rhythm is with it and the music with it, it's a different vibration.
So which part you hear? Who is the Eden? Who you call Eden?
All right, like the people who the preachers, the Bible people.
The preachers are Eden.
Yes, man.
Why them is Eden? Why them call it? Why you say it's Eden?
If you read the prophecy, it tells you that the kings of the earth has go against the Lord and his prophets and his anointed.
Yes, I'm not telling you which kings of the earth don't like Haile Selassie. No, where them there? Which part of the kingdom them know when they like Haile Selassie?
Most of the people them in high places.
Which like people them? Which people them? Look at
the poor. All those people.
Which people on earth right now that don't like Haile Selassie?
And his teachings. None of the people.
What is the teachings where them don't like? Tell me what the teaching is that's what them don't like.
Alright, let me give you an example.
Yeah,
if you said that Haile Selassie is from King Solomon, like you were holding a good reason with a preacher, because I've spoken to a lot of preachers, and I would try to tell them that, listen, the only country in the world that have a cultural exchange with Israel is Ethiopia. All the other European countries, them usually rob the Israelites and
so which part of Israelite them there? Which part of Israelite them there? Which part of Israelite?
Of the history of the Israel whole Rome.
No, hold on, brethren. Yeah, hold on, brethren. Hold on, man.
Okay.
Which group of people that don't like Haile Selassie? Which Eden people don't like Haile Selassie?
No preachers. Most preachers.
No preacher don't like Haile Selassie?
No, they don't like.
Like which preacher? So? Like which? Tell me the preacher then. Which preacher?
Any Christian preacher.
So no Christian preacher don't like Haile Selassie?
To them, yeah, because.
But you know, foolishness you're talking. It's foolishness you're talking. It's foolishness you're talking.
Why you say that? Explain.
You know much man in the earth, you know much head of state. Give Haile Selassie respect and due more than where you would know in Jamaica.
I'm not.
Haile Selassie is one of the most respected.
Head of state position.
Head of state, me talk about.
Head of state. You're talking about head of state. I know that he visited a lot of.
No, me talk about don't see.
I'm talking about when they come to religion.
His name not terrible monks, no head of state.
I'm talking about religious. I'm not talking about head of state.
Religious what? Religious what? So we talk about religious. Religious. Which part? You read Bible and equate it with the people. The parents say them are Eden. You say the Eden them not like all preachers are Eden.
Of course, them robbing and.
So every preacher where you know are rob people. So we rob.
You mean them taking the money from.
So you have Rasta will rob people. You have Rasta will rob people.
From your Rasta, you're not supposed to rob people.
Okay, but no, now ask that question. I never give them supposed to or not supposed to. Me ask you.
I don't know any
Rasta will rob people.
Taking people money.
All right, but you know every preacher will take away people money. Every preacher take away people money. That's what I say.
The preacher, you're telling liars, but Marley them feel like bombing a church because the preacher lie.
Yes, so every preacher lie. Every preacher lie.
Yeah, man, every preacher lie.
And no Rasta not thief nothing. No Rasta not take away nothing.
No, I could never say that.
But that's what you just said.
But in every
Okay, there's good and bad. So Rasta couldn't be Eden then. So Rasta couldn't be Eden.
Rasta should be praising the King of Kings and be Eden.
Because maybe him a thief too.
Well, every man has to sit down, come on.
Come on.
You cannot just equate things like that. Everyone
you just equate, but you just tell me say every preacher thief. You just tell me say every preacher thief.
Have a fault here and there. Eden and have a little fault is different.
No, you tell me say every preacher thief and tell lie.
Yeah, man.
All right, and you don't know no Rasta with thief not tell lie. Because Rasta, you couldn't be a Rasta and a thief and a tell lie, that you say.
Willingly. Without making a little mistake.
Then you have no preacher will make mistake. You have no preacher will make mistake.
Coming on Sundays and talking about
every preacher
colonial name because them calling on colonial name because I heard they use a name.
So God is not a colonial name. God is not a colonial name.
Yes, all English names are colonial.
Yeah, so what you saying? So why you want me to say interpret the power of the power of Holy Trinity? Why you want me to interpret it?
Because you do it in English.
Nobody don't walk around and say the Emperor of Ethiopia named the power of the Holy Trinity. You know anybody will walk around and say the Emperor of Ethiopia named the power of the Holy Trinity?
I said all English name is colonial. Name, I said name.
Then I just not name power of the Holy Trinity?
That's a meaning. I said name.
No, Haile Selassie. What? Haile Selassie is what? You know his name?
Of course it's his name.
Then if Haile Selassie is... Hold on. No. Haile Selassie is not English. Haile Selassie is... No, listen to me now, man. Haile Selassie name. Haile Selassie. If you translate it into English, it means power of the Holy Trinity. So may I ask you now, if Haile Selassie is not power of the Holy Trinity?
Alright, me personally, I don't believe in of a Trinity.
You know, and me know this what you believe in. May I ask if Haile Selassie, the name Haile Selassie though, is not power of the Holy Trinity?
I would have to research that somewhere. I don't
what do you mean research it some more?
Research it and so deep.
So Haile Selassie is English?
You tell me.
No, Haile Selassie is not English.
So where this come from? What's your objective in all of this? Because I said
and you call me now, you mean?
English.
What?
Because I said Jesus is English. And
no, not because you said that. I tell you, say, Haile Selassie is not English. And you just tell me,
I never said
then how you are telling me about, say, me talk about English and English and English. And English,
because
the teacher them are using English.
Them say using English name.
Then we're wrong if them use English name if them don't know better. You can't go tell me, say, no, every person a thief and
because them using colonial name. All these names were made by English linguists.
Then you don't say God. You don't say God.
No, I don't say God.
What you say? What you say? What you say?
I say that's straight.
You say I say that's straight. I you don't interpret it then.
No man,
so where you get so where you get King of Kings from?
Alright. Based upon the English that we use.
Oh God, now you go back now say I use English. Oh, okay.
By time we will reach there.
So when I say I say God, when I say I don't say I say God, why you object to that?
I did want just you to explain yourself.
Yeah, so I explain yourself?
Yes, you did.
All right, we don't need to talk no more then.
Okay, sir.
All right, give thanks.